Alright, welcome to today's video on part 1 of the much longer Psalm 9. Let's dive right into it. Infinem pro occultis filii, Salmus David. Unto the end, for the hidden things of the Son, a psalm for David. And we have in for for, unto, finem, accusative singular, of finis, end, where we get the word finish, pro for, occultus, where we get the word occult for things that are hidden things, filii, of the Son in the genitive, and Salmus David, which we've seen pretty well in every psalm so far. Confitebor tibi Domine, in toto corde meo, narrabo omnia mirabila tua. I will give praise to thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will relate all thy wonders. Confitebor is first singular future, indicative deponent verb, I will praise or confess. Tibi is the dative singular, the indirect, from tu tui. Domine, dominus, vocative singular, addressing God. In, toto, whole for totus, ablative singular. Corde, heart, where we get like cardiac in English. Meo, ablative singular, possessive of my, so my whole heart. Toto corde meo, in toto corde meo, in the total of my heart, in my total heart. Narrabo, I will tell or relate. Narrabo, where we get narration or narrative. Omnia, all. Mirabilia, wondrous deeds, where we get miraculous. And tua, for thy or your. Letabor et exultabo in te, salam nomini tuo altissime. I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing to thy name, O thou most high. Letabor, I will rejoice. We get that B, like bo bis bit, if you know your conjugations, your tables, that bo signifying the future. Et for and. Exultabo, another bo. Exult, will exult. In te, ablative singular of tutui. Salam, I will sing. Nomini, to the name. Tuo, to thy name. Altissime, from most high. In convertendo inimicum meum retrorsum, when my enemy shall be turned back. In convertendo, in turning back, inimicum, the enemy, meum, my, retrorsum, back or backwards. Infirmabuntur et peribunt a facie tua, they shall be weakened and perish before thy face. Infirmabuntur, they shall be weakened. Et and peribunt, they shall perish. So a lot of futures in this psalm so far. Peribunt, where we get perish in English. A, from before. Facie tua. So facie, literally where we get the word face, or facade in English. Quoniam fecisti judicium meum et causam meam, for thou hast maintained my judgment and my cause. Quoniam, for because, it's conjunction. Fecisti, you have done or maintained. Second singular, perfect indicative active. Judicium, judgment, accusative singular, direct object. Meum, for my, accusative singular. Et, for and. Causam, cause, where we get the word cause in English. And meam, another accusative singular, feminine. Sedisti super thronum, qui judicas justitiam. Thou hast sat on the throne, who judgest justice. Sedisti, you have sat, where we get the word seat. Super, upon. Thronum, object of super, accusative singular. Qui, so we have qui, quae, quod, nominative singular masculine of the relative pronoun, referring to you. And judicas, judge, where we get the word judicial. And justitiam, accusative singular, feminine noun, with justice. Or just justice, actually. That might be a typo. We continue. Increpasti gentes et periit impius. Thou hast rebuked the Gentiles, and the wicked one hath perished. Increpasti, you rebuked, second singular, perfect indicative active. Gentes, accusative plural, direct object of increpasti. Et for and. Periit, has perished. So another version of perio, perire, perii, periturus. And then impius in the nominative singular, masculine. Nomen, where we get name, you might remember this one. Eorum, genitive plural of their. Delesti, you blotted out. In aeternam, where we get the word eternity. In this case, it's forever, accusative singular. Et and into for. Seculum, age. And then seculi, genitive singular, age of ages. So seculum seculi, forever and ever. Basically, it's an idiomatic expression. Nomen eorum delesti in aeternum, et in seculum seculi. Thou hast rebuked the Gentiles, and the wicked one hath perished. Thou hast blotted out their name forever and ever, is the full bit. Inimici defecerunt fremee infinem, et civitates eorum destruxisti. The swords of the enemy have failed unto the end, and their cities thou hast destroyed. Inimici, of the enemy. Defecerunt, have failed. Third plural, perfect indicative active. Fremee, swords, spears, nominative plural. In for unto. Finem, the end, accusative once again. Et for and. Civitates, cities. Eorum for their, genitive plural. And destruxisti, you destroyed. Second, perfect indicative active. Periit memoria eorum cum sonitu. Their memory hath perished with a noise. Periit for has perished. Memoria for memory. Nominative singular, it's a feminine noun. Eorum for their, once again. Cum for with, it's a preposition in the ablative. And then sonitu, where we get words like sonar and sound, with a crash, noise. Ablative, singular, masculine. Et Dominus in aeternam permanet, peravit in judicio thronum suum. But the Lord remaineth forever. He hath prepared his throne in judgment. Et Dominus in aeternam permanet, remains, where we get the word permanent from permaneo, permanere, permansi, permansus. Paravit, has prepared. Third singular, perfect indicative active. In judicio, judgment, ablative singular. Thronum for throne, and suum for his, accusative singular, masculine, agreeing with thronum. Et ipse judicabit orbem terrae in equitate. Judicabit populus in justitia. He shall judge the world in equity. He shall judge the people in justice. Et ipse, he himself. Anyone who's done classical studies will be well familiar with the phrase Caesar ipse, Caesar himself. That appears very often in Roman literature. Judicabit, will judge. Once again, we have the bobis bit ending, so you know that's future. Orbem, the world, where we get the word orb, accusative singular. Terrae, terra, of the earth. In equitate, equity. Judicabit, repeated. Second or third singular, future indicative active. Populus for peoples, where we get population. In justitia, in justice, ablative singular. Et factus est Dominus refugium pauperi, adjutor in opportunitatibus in tribulatione. In tribulatione, a bit of a typo at the end there. Et for and, factus est. Third singular, perfect indicative, passive, has become. Dominus, refugium, refuge, in the nominative singular. Pauperi, where we get the word pauper for poor person. For the poor, dative. Adjutor, helper, nominative singular. In opportunitatibus, opportunities, ablative plural. In tribulatione, tribulation, ablative singular. Et sperent, for spero, sperare, speravi, sperato, third plural, present subjunctive, active. Let them trust, may they trust, that they trust, that kind of thing. In te, in thee, qui, in thee who, in te qui, noverunt, no, nomen, name, thy name, nomen tuum. Quoniam non dereliquisti querentes te, Domine, for thou hast not forsaken them that seek thee, O Lord. Quoniam, for because, conjunction, non dereliquisti, you have not forsaken. Querentes, those seeking, where we get the word query. Te and Domine. Psalite Domino qui habitat in Sion, annunciate inter gentes studia eius. Sing ye to the Lord who dwelleth in Sion. Declare his ways among the Gentiles. Salite, the imperative, present active for sing, where we get the word psalm. Domino, dative of dominus. Qui, habitat, dwelling, habitation, habitat. In Sion, ablative singular. Annunciate, proclaim or announce, so we get the word announcements. Inter, among, preposition taking the accusative. Gentes, here for Gentiles. And studia, deeds, cares, or ways in this case. And eius, his, genitive singular. Quoniam requirens sanguina menorum recordatus est, non est oblitus clamorem pauperum. For requiring their blood he hath remembered them, he hath not forgotten the cry of the poor. Quoniam, for because, requirens, nominative singular, present, participle, seeking or avenging, sanguinem, blood, in the accusative singular, eorum, there, genitive plural, recordatus est, deponent verb, in the third singular perfect indicative, has remembered, non, negation, est, and oblitus, forgotten, where, where we get the word oblivion, or if you're a Harry Potter fan, obliviate, to forget things, the spell. Clamorem, the cry, clamoring in English. Pauperum, once again, of the poor, genitive plural this time. Miserere me Domine, vide humilitatem meam de inimicis meis. Have mercy on me, O Lord, see my humiliation which I suffer from my enemies. Miserere, have mercy. You see that very often in various Roman prayers. Me, so forgive me, miserere me. Domine, addressing God. Vide, from video videre, vidi visum. See, consider, behold, where we get the word video, literally. Humilitatem, humiliation. It's pretty obvious. Accusative singular, direct object. And meam, from my. De, from, because of. Inimicis, once again, enemies. And meis. This is the ablative plural masculine. Qui exaltas me de portis mortis, thou hast liftest me up from the gates of death. Qui exaltas, you lift up. Me, de, me, from, out of. Portis, where we get port, gates of death. Portis mortis, gates of death. Genitive singular. Ut annunciem omnes laudationes tuas in portis filiae Sion, that I may declare all thy praises in the gates of the daughter of Sion. Ut, so that. Whenever you see that I may, or that we may, you're going to come across the word ut in Latin. That's the common Latin translation of that. Annunciem, for singular present subjunctive active. Omnes laudationes, accusative plural, tuas. This is the plural feminine accusative. In portis, habit of location, habit of a place, in the plural, filiae, of the daughter, genitive singular, Sion, gates of the daughter of Sion. Exultabo in salutare tuo, in fixe sunt gentes in interitu quem fecerunt. I will rejoice in thy salvation. The Gentiles have stuck fast in the destruction which they have prepared. Exultabo, we got the bow again, so you know it's the future. First singular, indicative active future. I will rejoice, I will exult. In tuo, in fixe sunt. So they have been struck or ensnared. Sunt, and the to be in the plural third person, gentes, Gentiles, in interitu, ruin or destruction, quem fecerunt, which they have prepared. In laqueo isto quem absconderunt comprehensus est pes eorum. Their foot hath been taken in the very snare which they hid. In laqueo snare, isto, that very snare, laqueo isto, in that very snare, quem absconderunt, in which they hid. In English we say if one has absconded, not very common these days, but a direct Latin inheritance there. Comprehensus est, has been caught. Pes, feet, and eorum, for there. So their foot has been caught. Cognoscetur Dominus judicia faciens in operibus manuum suarum comprehensus est peccator. The Lord shall be known when he executeth judgments. The sinner hath been caught in the works of his own hands. Cognoscetur, shall be known, so it's a future. Dominus judicia faciens, for executing judgment. Judicia faciens in operibus, where we get the word opera, magnum opus, works, manuum, of his hands, it's genitive plural, of manus, suarum, comprehensus est peccator. The sinner hath been caught in the works of his own hands. Convertantur peccatores in infernum omnes gentes quae obliviscuntur Deum. The wicked shall be turned into hell, all the nations that forget God. Convertantur, where we get a convert, in this case it's the subjunctive passive, so let be turned. Peccatores, plural, nominative, sinners, in infernum, so the inferno, hell. I'm not sure why Go made it there. That's a typo, ignore that. Omnes gentes, all the Gentiles. Quae, who, obliviscuntur, forget. Deum, forget God. Quoniam non infinem oblivio erit pauperis, for the poor man shall not be forgotten to the end. Quoniam, for because, non infinem, for not in the end, oblivio erit pauperis, shall be forgotten the poor. Patientia pauperum non peribit infinem, the patience of the poor shall not perish forever. Patientia pauperum, the patience of the poor, non peribit, will not perish, in finem, forever in this case. And that is part 1 of this rather more lengthy psalm. Grazie vobis ago for tuning in. Part 2 will be a Patreon exclusive. Be sure to tune in there if you're a subscriber. If not, I encourage you, if you want to dive deeper into the Latin journey, please subscribe on patreon.com/wordbrickphilology, and we will see you there. Happy Sunday.